To watch the latest from India Science, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press on the bell icon to get notifications on all the science-related videos.
This week, we talk about what astronauts eat while in space. We will also talk about the workings of a medical device whose demand has skyrocketed in the COVID-19 era. Hello and namaskar. I am Bhagyashree Gupta and welcome to another exciting episode of Sci-Tech. Well, if you're anything like me, you will choose taste over nutrition. I mean, how many of us would opt for a healthy salad instead of, say, an oily samosa? Well, astronauts can't afford to be fussy. They have it tough living in space. The extreme environment takes a toll on the body. Well, food scientists are ensuring that space meals don't disappoint. Space meals have become a treat for the taste buds without compromising on the nutritional demands. Innovations in space food production will help future explorers venture deeper into space. Find out more in our video.
What was on your plate today? Pizza, parathas, or a bowl of sambar rice? Now imagine that you are in space. Do you think you would have access to your favorite meals? Well, it depends on the year of travel. If you imagine the 1960s, you would have had plant food. Now, you could carry your favorites, just like what French astronaut Thomas Pesquet did. To the International Space Station ISS, he carried lobster, beef bourguignon, cod with black rice, potato cakes with wild mushrooms, and almond tarts with caramelized pears. Space food is not easy to make. It should meet specific criteria. It should have a higher shelf life without refrigeration. It should be nutritious and delicious. It should not crumble, as these particles could enter equipment and disrupt the normal functioning. It should be easy to handle and ready to eat. Today we'll look at how space food has evolved over the years. In the 1960s, the US and USSR were engaged in a fierce race. Both nations wanted to be the first to send a human into space. The Soviet Union won the first round. In the 1961, USSR's Yuri Gagarin became the first human in space. The following year, America tasted success with Mercury program, which was the first human spaceflight program of the United States. Astronaut John Glenn orbited Earth 3 times aboard the Friendship 7 spacecraft. Back then, experts were unsure whether humans could survive weightlessness in space without experiencing a decline in normal physiological functions. The Mercury mission showed that astronauts could ingest and absorb nutrients in a state of zero gravity. Space food was packed in tubes, allowing astronauts to squeeze it into their mouths. In the tubes was pureed beef and vegetables or applesauce. Glenn and other early astronauts experienced no problems in chewing, drinking, swallowing, or digesting food. But they did not find the meals delicious. We saw improvements with subsequent missions. The Gemini mission saw the introduction of dehydrated, freeze-dried food, which was coated with gelatin or oil to prevent crumbling. Moisture is extracted from food because water is heavy, and the aim is to keep the payload light. Food experts quickly freeze the cooked items. They then place them in a vacuum chamber and heat it to remove all water. The items are then vacuum packed in a 4-ply laminated container with a water valve at one end. This way, the food can be kept at room temperature for long periods without refrigeration. According to the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum, astronauts rehydrate the meal by using a water gun, which injects cold water into the package. Now, the food is ready for consumption. The Apollo mission also used freeze-dried meals. One significant difference was that the water gun sprayed either hot or cold water to rehydrate the meal. Astronauts have more options now. Featuring on the menu are soups and cream of mushroom, casseroles like macaroni and cheese, and chicken and rice, appetizers like shrimp cocktail, and breakfast foods like scrambled eggs and cereals, all of which are sealed in a package. Astronauts have surplus access to food thanks to spacecraft, which takes multiple trips to the ISS to supply packages. This mode makes sense because the ISS orbits the Earth, but it won't work for long-distance missions to Mars and beyond. This year, NASA announced the Deep Space Food Challenge to develop new ideas for producing safe, nutritious, and tasty food for long-duration human exploration missions. NASA believes some of the solutions from this challenge could find applications on Earth, especially in regions with extreme environments and scarce resources.
We have heard a great deal about oxygen concentrators. These medical devices have been in demand since India entered the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. In our video, we tell you what oxygen concentrators are and how they are helping.
The second wave of COVID-19 pandemic has put India in a spot. With shortages of beds and medical oxygen supplies, many families are left to fend for themselves, scrambling to save the lives of their loved ones. Medical oxygen is administered when a patient's blood oxygen levels drop below the healthy limits. We told you last week how pulse oximeter help test these levels. Low oxygen levels are a concern because they could damage the brain. With hospitals experiencing a scarcity of medical oxygen cylinders, many families began looking for alternative options, oxygen concentrators. According to World Health Organization, oxygen concentrators could treat patients with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, and those with severe lung damage by providing oxygen. These medical devices collect oxygen from the air. As you might know, the atmosphere contains about 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and 1% of other remaining gases. The oxygen concentrators draws in air and sends it through several filters, which removes dust, bacteria, and other particulates. They release nitrogen back into the air while retaining oxygen. The device then compresses and dispenses the collected oxygen. The final product is 90 to 95% pure, according to the Indian Express. A 2015 report from WHO said that concentrators could operate continuously, producing oxygen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for up to 5 years or more. Experts advise oxygen concentrators for COVID-19 patients with oxygen levels of 85% or above. It is not suited for those in the ICU. This is because the device can only supply 5 to 10 liters of oxygen per minute, whereas critical patients may need 40 to 50 liters per minute. These devices are expensive. Its cost can range from Rs 40,000 to 90,000. Cylinders, on the other hand, are priced between Rs 8,000 to 20,000. But oxygen concentrators don't have high operational cost and don't need refilling and transportation.
Well, that's all for this episode of Sci-Tech. You can send us your valuable feedback on the email ID flashing on your screens. Also download India Science app or visit our website www.indiascience.in for more videos. Don't forget to follow us on our social media handles as well. So before signing off, here is fact of the day for you.
Signs of low blood oxygen levels are rapid breathing, shortness of breath, fast heart rate, coughing or wheezing, sweating, confusion, and changes in your skin color.